Hi boys and girls, are you ready for our math time? I hope you have your math pages from our packet ready to go, and I'm sure you've looked at them and you said, well, we measured yesterday. We did measure yesterday, and we are going to measure some more today. Yesterday we did non-standard measurement with Brianna's foot. You remember our foot that we did yesterday, and I hope you traced your foot, cut it out, and measured things around your house, and then we compared it with the standard foot that was 12 inches long that we cut out. So I hope you measured things around your house and compared them, and that you measured on your papers. But today we're going to look at different tools for measuring, and we're going to look at measurements just by feet. 12 inches is 1 foot, and by inches. So I'm going to show you some different tools for measuring feet and inches, and then we'll practice measuring on our papers, and then you can practice measuring things at home again. Are we ready?
Let's do this.
All right. So we'll start with our ruler. The regular ruler, 12 inches long. We showed this one yesterday. And an inch, when you see the first little section up to 1, that is 1 inch. And 12 of those inches makes 1 foot. Now we can get really big, and we can use, this is a ruler also, but it's called a yardstick. And it's called a yardstick because it has 1, okay, hold on there. Thank you, Miss Baird.
Yes.
I'm going to drop it. Okay, 1, 2, 3 feet. 3 feet are in 1 yard, and that's why we call it a yardstick. So we have our 1 foot ruler, our yardstick for 3 feet. And we'll put them right here so we can keep looking at them if we want to. And then we have another kind of a ruler, but it is called a tape measure. And it's all inside. And I'll give that into Miss Barrett. And you can measure a lot of feet.
I think this one is 30 feet.
To right here, we're up to 8 feet. And, oh, yep, it says 30 feet right there on the outside. See? 30. You can measure 30 feet with this tape measure. And because you can't carry around
10 of those.
Right, we can't carry around 10 of those, and they don't make yardsticks that are 30 feet long. We have them in the tape measure to make it so it's nice and small, but you can still measure long measurements with a tape measure. So we'll put our tape measure right here. And then here's another kind of tape measure, and these tape measures are used like for construction projects, for building, like when people put floors in their houses, lots of big measuring projects. And here's another kind of a tape measure, and this one is a soft tape measure, and this is the kind like I use for sewing, like for measuring clothes, for measuring smaller things in your house. And it's soft, so you can roll it up, and so it doesn't have to be as long as this all the time, but you can still use it for other big projects. And this one goes up to, it's 60 inches long, which would make it 5 feet. So this tape measure is only 5 feet long.
And Mrs. Rogers, one thing about this is it's round, so you can measure around things.
Yeah, you can't just measure like the yardstick. You can only measure straight things.
Yep.
This one you can measure round.
You can wrap it around round stuff.
Good point.
Yes.
All right. Oh,
that one's not staying.
it does not want to stay, so I'm going to move it. All right. We have another measuring tool. This one is called a protractor. This one, like big kids use in math all the time for measuring angles and circles. There's inches down here at the bottom. It's up to 6 inches. And then they use it to look at different degrees and angles of measurement, and then they can mark it and make their circles. But this is a protractor, and you guys won't use these until you get a little bit older. And here's another way to measure. This is called a compass, and this measures circles that you could draw. And so what you do, I'm going to use this little paper right here. I should have had one ready. But you decide how big you want your circle. There's a pointy end right there. And right here, you can't see it, but there's measurements right here. And so if I want a circle that is an inch big, I'm going to adjust my compass, and I'm going to put the pointy end in the middle, and then I can make a circle. Okay, Mrs. Rogers. Can you do it? I can make a circle that from the middle to the outside of the circle is an inch.
Make that dark so we can see it.
Make a red circle. And you can make circles up to 6 inches. See how big it opens up? And so you can make circles. Let's see if we could do it. A 6-inch one is not going to fit on here, but you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, just barely. I can't put my pencil on the whiteboard. But see how much bigger that circle is? And we can go all the way around and make a big circle, and it'll be 6 inches from the middle to the outside of the circle. So that is a compass. That is another way of measuring. And we have another super interesting way to measure. This is like for baking. And like if you make pie at home and you roll out
pizza crust.
A pizza crust.
Yeah,
Ooh, yes.
yeah.
You can roll it out and you know how big of a circle your pie crust and your pizza crust are. So you can make a 9-inch crust, you can make an 8-inch, 7-inch, 6-inch, 5-inch, and all you have to do is follow the circles. And there's also inches at the top.
For breadsticks, I'm thinking.
And at the bottom. So you can, so when you have to section out like you roll out your dough, and if you say you want to cut your breadsticks in 1 inch, there's a place to measure your breadstick. You make a line, and then you can cut it right there. And then you can cut all your breadsticks evenly, or anything that you want to make.
Very nice.
Yep, so those are all of our measuring tools. So look around your houses today and ask your parents, especially if you have to go out to the garage or something, ask your parents what kind of measuring tools you have at your house. And you might have some of your own measuring tools. So you might have your own ruler. You might have yardsticks at your house. You might have tape measures at your house. But get them out and look at them and practice measuring things around your house. All right. So now we're going to practice our measuring again, just like we did yesterday. Today we'll start with our veggie garden because we had veggie garden yesterday. So this is veggie garden number 2. We did number 1 yesterday. So let's practice our measuring. Miss Barrett is going to pull your sticks. So listen for your name. I hope you have your rulers ready. You're going to measure with me. And remember, when you measure, at the end of your ruler, there's a 0. Line up that, then there's a little line above it. Line up the 0 line with the bottom of your vegetable, like we did yesterday, and then measure it all the way to the top. So our first vegetable looks like an eggplant, doesn't it?
It does look like an eggplant.
Okay.
Yes.
It's kind of dark.
Okay, so
okay.
Bella.
Bella, did you measure your eggplant? What did you get? Okay, I hope you got 3 inches for your eggplant. So I'm going to write a 3 in the box right there. Okay, so 3 inches for our eggplant. Let's measure, this looks like lettuce or cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage.
Okay, Miss Barrett.
Okay, Piper.
All right, Piper. How big is your cabbage? Did you get it? I hope you said 2 inches. That's how big mine is. Okay, Miss Barrett's going to write it on there for us. So we have a 2-inch cabbage. Okay, let's measure our carrot.
Okay, we have 2 sticks left. Kendra.
All right, Kendra.
That's a carrot.
Measure with me. Okay, my 0 is lined up at the bottom of my carrot and all the way to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is your carrot 4 inches long? Right, 4 inches in the box. And we have a bell pepper. It's our last one to measure.
Brianna.
Okay, Brianna. I hope you're measuring your bell pepper with me. How did you do? I hope you got 2 inches. Our bell pepper is 2 inches tall.
Whoops.
Whoops, and there goes our ruler. That's okay. We have another one for the worms. Okay, So boys and girls, I hope you got your veggies measured. We'll move that one over and move it down out of the way a little bit. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna measure earthworms. It's springtime. We might go play in the dirt and you might find some earthworms. And if you do, you could measure them. They're pretty wiggly though. So let's just measure the paper ones because I don't really want to measure worms.
Oh, no.
Not real ones.
Okay, Eileen.
Okay, Eileen, are you ready to measure your first worm? Okay, line up the 0 with his tail. And our first worm is, Eileen, what did you get? 3 inches. Okay, now this worm, he looks a little bit bigger, doesn't he?
He does. He's all stretched out.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Line up the 0.
Liam.
Liam, I hope you're measuring your worm. What did you get, Liam? Okay, hope you got 5.
5 inches.
5-inch worm. Okay, let's go to our next worm. He looks a little shorter, doesn't he? And who's measuring?
Brianna.
Okay, Brianna. Oh, you get to go again.
Yeah.
Brianna, are you measuring your worm? And how many inches did you get? I got 4.
4 inches.
I hope we are the same. Okay, and our very last worm, he looks like the biggest worm of all.
Emery.
Don't call anybody that. Okay, here we go. Emery, did you measure your worm? Is your worm 6 inches like mine is? Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, so
6 inches.
we've measured our veggies. We've measured our worms. Put our veggies back up here so we can see. Oh, and don't forget we have the date up here so you could write the date on your paper. And then you have more practice measuring in your packet. I'm going to hold them up. So we're measuring shapes. Cut your ruler out and measure those shapes. Write the number on the line. And you can practice saying your shapes too while you're doing it. So you get a little extra there. And measuring carrots. You have another ruler there. And you could get a carrot out of your refrigerator if you've got them, and you could measure a real carrot also. And if you have baby carrots, just be a little tiny ones. And we have letters that we can measure. And our last one, ooh, measuring school supplies. Now I know we sent home school supplies, didn't we?
Yes. You all have your little baggies full of school supplies.
So I want you to measure
Yeah.
these, and I want you to measure your school supplies. You can measure your pencil, your crayons, your eraser, and your scissors. You could also measure your Play-Doh, your glue stick, your Expo marker that went home. Lots of things to measure. Okay guys, have fun measuring. We'll see you in a little bit for reading.